Hello boys and girls, and welcome to another day at the Sea Kids Virtual Online Hebrew School. Wow! Today we are gathered with thousands of kids from all over the world. And guess what? You are a part of it. We have so much learning to do in such a short amount of time. So are you ready to get started? Okay. 1 second, boys and girls. Don't forget, you can win incredible prizes. At the end of your class today, I want you to fill out the form in order to enter into a raffle for some awesome prizes. And wait, at the end of class today, we will be announcing the winner from last week's raffle. All right, boys and girls, it's time to go into your classroom and meet your incredible teacher. Please make sure you listen because we want you to win some awesome prizes. Please listen up to Mora Chana.
Hey, check this out. I have 2 water bottles here. We're going to try a little science experiment. I'm going to put some flour in balloon number 1, and then I'm going to place the balloon over bottle number 1. Just like this. Next, I'm going to put some flour and some yeast in balloon number 2, together with some other ingredients that I have here. Now, I'm going to pour it over bottle number 2. Let's take a look at the 2 reactions we are going to get. When the flour mixes with the water, nothing. The balloon stays flat. Balloon number 2, on the other hand, when the yeast and the other ingredients mix together, let's take a look at what's going to happen. Wow! The yeast is inflating this balloon. Woo! Balloon number 2 is super inflated. Balloon number 1 stays flat. What does that mean? What does that teach us? How does it connect with Pesach? Let me refresh your memories. Many years ago, the Jewish people were slaves to King Pharaoh in Egypt. And after 210 very long years, Hashem, God, sent Moses to King Pharaoh to tell him, "Let my people go. Enough is enough." King Pharaoh laughed it off. And Moses said, God is going to bring upon 10 plagues. He didn't really care so much. Came plague number 1. All the water in Egypt turned into blood. Next came frogs. Frogs came jumping, flying all over, everywhere. After 10 plagues, King Pharaoh couldn't handle it anymore. He called to Moses, and he said, enough, we're done. You can go already. Hashem commanded the Jewish people to flee, to leave, to go out of Egypt. Finally, freedom at last. The Jewish people gathered their stuff, packed their bags, and left in such a hurry. They ran from flour, some water, to big stuff on their backs, and off they went. And then, on their backs, baked an incredible matzah. Before the Jewish people left Egypt, Hashem gave them the mitzvah, the commandment, to celebrate Pesach, Passover, every year on the 15th of Nisan in the Jewish calendar. Until today, we celebrate that incredible day, celebrating our freedom when God took us out of Egypt. We celebrate by eating bitter herbs, by reclining when we drink grape juice or wine, by eating matzah. What is matzah? How is it made? Let's take a look. Matzah, that flat, round, or sometimes square cracker. What is challah? Fluffy, doughy, delicious. What is matzah and how is it made? Just 2 ingredients, flour and water. But here's the hard part. As soon as the flour and water mix together, the bakers have less than 18 minutes, literally 18 minutes on the clock until it comes out of the oven. That means within those 18 minutes, they have to mix the flour and water, knead the dough, roll it out, poke some holes, put it in the oven. Wow, that's a lot of work in a very short amount of time. You are probably familiar with this kind of matzah. However, there's another matzah, a very special one, that is best to use at the Seder. This matzah is called Shmura matzah. What makes this matzah so special, so unique, and a little more expensive? It's because this matzah is made of flour that was supervised from when it was originally ground from wheat stalks, and it is handmade by expert matzah bakers. This matzah is the best to use at your Seder. Why would it need to be supervised? To make sure that no water touches the wheat stalks or the flour, because as soon as they touch, we have less than 18 minutes. And if it takes more than 18 minutes, the matzah turns into chametz. Wait, we didn't talk about chametz. What is chametz? All this here, this is chametz. Chametz is any fruit product that's made from wheat, barley, rye, oats, spelt, that has come in contact with water and has been allowed to rise. Basically, just about anything made from these grains, other than of course matzah, which is carefully controlled to make sure it does not rise, is to be considered chametz. For example, crackers, cake, cookies, of course, challah, all that is chametz. So how do you know what we could eat, what we can eat on Pesach, Passover, what is chametz, what is good? In today's day and age, they've made it pretty simple. When you're looking at a product, you don't have to sit and sift through the ingredients to see, can I eat this, can I not, during Pesach, Passover? Just look for that little symbol that says, kosher for Passover, and then you know you can eat it. That means that the products were replaced with other products. Instead of flour, there may be potato starch. I'm going to actually test you now. We're going to have a couple of items coming in. Put a thumbs up if you think that's kosher for Passover. Remember, look for that label. Or a thumbs down if you think it's not kosher for Passover. Here we go. First up, crispy fries. Thumbs up if it's kosher for Passover, thumbs down if not. Crispy fries, take a look. Okay, now what do you say? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Correct. Thumbs down. There was no kosher for Passover symbol on that one. Next up, ketchup. Thumbs up or thumbs down? You got it again! Thumbs up. This item is kosher for Passover. And a cookie. Did you see a kosher for Passover symbol there? That is correct. Thumbs down, that cookie is not kosher for Passover, but there are some cookies that are kosher for Passover. Just make sure to look out for the special kosher symbol. Okay, we're gonna finish up with one more. Soda. Take a look at this one and see if there's any special symbol on it. Give you a second there. Good job. There is no kosher for Passover symbol on that one, so that soda is not kosher for Passover. I think you got this down pat, and we're ready to move on to the next thing. Let's talk matzah. Flat, crunchy matzah. There's actually something very special we learn about the matzah. Take a look at it. So flat, small, humble. The matzah teaches us to be humble, to let others in our lives, to let Hashem in our lives. We may find ourselves in different situations where we can act like chametz, a little, maybe call it full of ourselves, or we can act like a matzah, humble and not so full of ourselves. In order to understand this better, I'm going to share with you a couple of situations, a couple of scenarios, and you tell me if you feel like that is a chametz situation or that is a matzah situation, where the person acted with humility. Okay, situation number 1. I walk into the bus and take a seat. At the next stop, an elderly woman comes in. There are no seats. I get up and give her my seat. So that situation, would you say that is a chametz situation, or was that an act of humility? Correct. That was an act of humility. Let's take another one. I got 100 on my test, and I know that everybody else struggled. So I go to my friends and I say, I got 100, I am so awesome. What kind of situation is that? I hope you said chametz, because that was definitely not an act of humility. The matzah teaches us, be humble, be flat. Let others in your lives, and know that everything we have comes from Hashem, and be grateful for that. Let's do one more situation, one more scenario. It is a Friday night, and your parents really want you to go with them to shul, to synagogue, but you want to have a play date with your friend, and you just really want to hang out with your friends instead. So you put up a big fuss, and your parents have no choice, and they give in. How did you act in that situation? Was that a chametz situation or a matzah? Correct. That was a chametz situation. So take the lesson of the matzah. Let's try to be a little more humble in our lives. And I know you probably already are most of the time. And there's always room for improvement. So let's make it happen. Oh, sorry, I got carried away. The Torah tells us that on Pesach, on Passover, we are not to eat, to own, or to see chametz. So now I'm going to put all my chametz away because Passover is literally just around the corner. The yeast, the crackers, the cookies, the chips, you name it, we put it away. Not to have out. We don't want to see it or own it on Pesach. We put the challah in, everything in. To help me remember that this is chametz, not to be used, seen, or eaten on Pesach, on Passover, I'm just going to wrap this up with a special do not open chametz sticker. I'm going to put this away. Make sure not to have it around over the holiday. Okay, now that we got rid of the chametz, and trust me, it takes more than just a couple of seconds. People spend days and days and weeks cleaning their houses to get rid of all the chametz, to get ready for the holiday of Pesach, Passover. The night before Pesach, we actually search our house for the chametz. Here's what we do. We take a feather, a spoon, a candle, and a bag. We hide 10 pieces of bread around the house. We collect them and we burn it the next day. Let's do b'dikat chametz, searching for the chametz together. I'm going to use the candle as a light to try to find it. The feather on the spoon will help me collect the chametz into my bag. So how many pieces did I need to find? 10, correct. If I miss a piece, I'm in real trouble. Okay, we kind of made this easy. 10 pieces around the table, but normally we hide it around the house in different rooms to make sure we really search well for chametz. So help me up here. We got 1. We got 2. We got 3. 4. If you know how to count in Hebrew, count along. 5. Chamesh. Shesh. 6. Sheva. 7. I really hope I find the rest here. 8. Shmona. And Tisha. I got the 10. Here it is. Okay. We now say a special blessing, say a special prayer, put the bag away, and save it for the next day, the day of Pesach, the morning of the Seder. Okay, and so the morning before the Seder, we take our chametz that we found, wrap it up, and we do what we call bibur chametz, the burning of the chametz. So I'm going to take my bread and I'm going to throw it into the fire. Remember to always be safe around fire. Okay, hit or miss? I hope you said hit. Close enough. Okay, so now that we got our chametz in the fire, I'm actually going to ask for a volunteer to come on up and see if they can throw the 10 pieces into the fire. Come on up. Oh, wait a second. What have you got there in your school bag? Did you check your school bag for chametz?
Oh no, thanks for the reminder.
Okay, so remember, we gotta check our school bags, our offices, our classrooms, our desks, our cars, everything that we have to see if we have any chametz. And before Pesach, before Passover, we gotta get rid of them. So let's see, what have you got in your school bag? Oops. Some leftover lunch. That definitely goes into the fire. There we go. What else do you have?
What about this?
Apple, orange. What do you think? Burn or keep? Fruits and veggies are all kosher for Passover. So of course you can keep them. Here you go. Stay healthy. Okay, and as you put those away, we're gonna have a little challenge. And you can try this at home as well. Get 10 pieces of whatever it is. It could be cotton balls, little pieces of foil, and take a little bucket, put it nearby, and see if you can get 10 pieces into the bucket. So we have our little contestant here, or not so little, big contestant here. Take 10 pieces and see if you can get them into the fire. So remember, these 10 pieces represent the 10 pieces of chametz that we found the night before. Okay, are we ready? Go for it. Let's cheer her on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And she did it. Excellent. Thank you so much for being such an awesome contestant. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all so much. I hope you learned a lot about Pesach today, about the matzah, how we have to practice humility, how we have to let God in our lives, all the things we do to get ready for this incredible holiday, how we celebrate our freedom. And we should just all have a beautiful, happy, and healthy Pesach. And now, let's give it over to Rabbi Beryl for some amazing games. Rabbi Beryl, all yours.
Thank you, Morachana. Hi, everyone, and now we're on to the virtual Chabad Hebrew School's game show. Today we have some awesome games for you. Let's get on to our first game, but first, get yourself a pen and a paper or some way you can take down your score during the game. Our first game is called Track It. Get those pen and papers, and we're gonna get started right here, right now. I have here in front of me, I just went to the store and got 2 packages of applesauce. One of them is the regular kosher applesauce. I'll pull one of these out and make them super hard to open. We can do this thing. And
you can see it's got this white top. It's regular kosher applesauce. Put that one down here. And then I got this special, in the kosher section, in the Passover section, a kosher for Passover applesauce, which means that all the machines that produce this applesauce were specially cleaned and wiped down before Passover to make sure that no other products were put near them, or none of the ingredients that went into here got near anything that's not kosher for Passover. That's why it happens to be that this package is actually cheaper than this one. Funny enough. But anyways, I'm going to take 2 of them. 1 and 2 of the kosher for Passover ones, the red tops. And then 1 and 2 of the non-kosher for Passover ones, the white ones. Of course, they're kosher. Now, I'm going to flip them around, just like this. So you're not going to be able to know which ones are which. Again, the non-kosher for Passover and the kosher for Passover one. I'm going to take a few seconds to mix this up. We'll start with slightly easier and then we'll get tougher and tougher. For the first one, if you can tell me which ones are the kosher for Passover ones after I do that switch, you get 10 points. Now, I'm going to give you numbers here just to make it simple. This is number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is at the very end, you'll have to say, oh, the kosher for Passover ones are on 1 and 3, or 1 and 4, or 2 and 4, whatever it is, so you have numbers to check. We're getting started right now with our first round. Watch carefully. Which ones do you think it is? Remember, I want you to call out which numbers they are. Is it 1 and 2? Is it 3 and 4? What is it? Okay, you have to call it out or it doesn't count. Now that you called it out, let's have a look. It's number 1 and number 2. If you said 1 and 2, give yourself 10 points. If not, don't worry, we're going on to our next round. Now that you got the idea, again, these are the kosher for Passover ones. These are the non-kosher for Passover ones. Now they're switched. You're watching out for these 2. And we're going on to our next round, a little bit harder here. Let's go. Follow that one. Call it out. Remember, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where are the kosher for Passover applesauces? Let's have a look. Number 1, not number 2, number 3, and not number 4. If you said 1 and 3, give yourselves 20 points for that one. If you did not, that's okay. Let's go on to round 3. Let's move this back here. Okay, you get one more chance. This is going to be the hardest one. The 2 kosher for Passover ones, the 2 non-kosher for Passover ones, and watch carefully, our third and final. All right, you got your chance. It's a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Give us that answer. Say it out loud. And it is not 1, not 2, but 3 and 4. If you said 3 and 4, give yourself 30 points for that round. And we are going on to the next round of our game show today. And it is Scrambled. Can you unscramble these Passover words? You ready for the first one? You'll have 20 seconds. And if you get it, you get 20 points. Don't worry, we will give you a hint if you don't get it. Let's go for our first word. This word is related to the pre-Passover hunt for chametz. If you got it, great, you get your 20 points, but if you didn't, we'll give you a hint. We'll rescramble those words slightly easier. Have a look. You got 10 seconds for this one. Say it out loud if you know it. Say it out loud. Time's up. Okay, here we go. The real answer is 10, pieces. Before Pesach, we have a search for the final chametz in the house to make sure we got rid of everything, and symbolically we hide 10 pieces around the house, which we then find to burn the next day. If you got it right during the first 20 seconds, give yourself 20 points. If not, but you got it right during the second 10 seconds, give yourself 10 points. And if you didn't get any, hold on for our next round. The next word is... This is related to general Passover. It's a tough one, I know it. 20 seconds. Just a few seconds left. All right, if you got it, hold that word. You have to say it out loud to be counted. But we'll give you a hint in 10 more seconds. The second word is free. What's that first word? The answer is chametz free. If you got that right during the first 20 seconds, 20 points. During the next 10 seconds, give yourself 10 points. Have those markers, and we're going on to the next word. This is a toughie. It's related to baking bread, baking matzah, chametz, related to that. I'm giving you the best hint I can without giving it away. Okay, we'll give you our hint. Great if you got it during those 20 seconds, but if not, have a look. The second word is minutes. What's that first word? Say it out loud if you know it. Say it out loud. What was it? 18 minutes. That's how long you have from when flour mixes with water for it to turn into chametz. If you got it right during the first 20 seconds, it's 20 points. During the 10 seconds, it's 10 points. And our next word is... Woo-hoo! This is related to something we eat on Passover. Figure that out? 10 more seconds left. Try your best. Try to re-scramble those words. Okay, we'll give you a hint here. The second word is bread. What's that first word? Something we eat on Passover. I think you can get this one. That's right. I imagine you got this one. It is matzah bread. 20 points for if you got it at the beginning, 10 points if you get it after the hint. And we're going on to our final word. This is a 3-word scramble. Each word is scrambled on its own. 20 seconds. Do your best. Do your best. What are those words? It's a toughie. This is a tough one. All right, we'll give you our hint. And that is, the middle word is and. Something and something related to baking matzah. It's, of course, flour and water, the only 2 ingredients found in the baking matzah. If you got it during the first 20 seconds, it's 20 points. If not, it's 10 points. And we're going on to round 3. During this round, I'm going to ask some Passover-related questions, most of which you learned about today. Some of which you may have to go and dig into your brain, into your memory, and find some of the info that you already know. We're going on to our first question. Each question, it'll say at the beginning how many points it is worth. Our first question is worth 20 points. Make sure you watch closely. And the question is, what do you get if you mix flour and water and let it sit for 18 minutes? Do you get matzah? Do you get chametz? Do you get matzah ball soup? Or do you get a headache? We'll give you a few seconds. Shout it out if you know what it is, and then I'll give you the answer. And the answer is, you get chametz. If you mix flour and water together, let it sit for 18 minutes, it will rise, and that is chametz for Passover. We're going on to our next question. This question is worth 20 points again, and here it goes. How much bread is a Jew allowed to own on Passover? And for your answers, the size of a date, none at all, just 2 loaves of bread, or as much as you can stuff into one closet. What do you think it is? I'll give you a few seconds, shout it out if you know it, and the answer is, can't answer anymore, none at all. Give yourself 20 points if you knew that one, and we're going on to the next 20-point question. This is tough stuff. And the question is, why is matzah flat? And the first possibility is that flat represents humility, and that's a positive thing. Or, in order to bake really, really quick, we gotta make it flat so it doesn't rise. Or it reminds us of the clouds of glory that went with us in the desert, which flattened out all the mountains and the hills. Or to add a little crunch to that matzah. What do you think it is? Shout it out if you know it. And the answer is both. It is a sign of humility and it allows it to bake really quick so it can't become chametz. If you said either one of those, give yourself 20 points. If you said both, you get 40 points for that question. Moving on to the next question, and it's again worth 20 points. And this one is, why is this holiday called Pesach? What's Pesach? One answer is Pesach means a door. It reminds us that God jumped over the Jewish doorways during the plague of the firstborn. Or Pesach means to leap over because God leaped over, passed over the Jewish doorways during the plague of the firstborn. Or Pesach actually means a lamb because of the Paschal sacrifice. We call it Pesach. Or Pesach is a term which means cutting wheat. A few seconds to answer. Make sure you shout it out loud or the points don't count. It's a 20-second question, and the answer is Pesach means to leap over. Pasach Hashem jumped over the homes of the Jewish people. If you said that, you get your 20 points. If not, you do not. And we're going on to our final question, and this is going to give you 30 points. You're lucky if you get this one right, and here it goes. The question is, in what merit did the Jewish people leave Egypt? What great thing did they do that Hashem said, I have to let them free? 1, they didn't change their name, their clothing, or their language. They hold on to certain Jewish stuff. 2, they learned Torah at every free moment. 3, they did lots of mitzvahs constantly. Or 4, finally they got that signal for Google Maps. Got a few seconds for this one. It's a 30-point question. Make sure you try. Say it out loud or else it doesn't count. And the answer is that they did not change their clothing, their language, or their names. They had kept their Jewish names. Great, if you got that right, you get 30 points. If not, you do not. And that's all it for today. How did you score? Take a moment to calculate those scores. This is not a math time, but you gotta calculate those. Is it 50? Is it 80? Is it 150? Those 20s and 30s, put them together, and let's see what you got. Now that you got those totals down, make sure you have it clear. We'll see how you ranked. If you got between 30 points and 70 points, you're a beginner. You're doing really well. Keep it going. Keep learning more and more. If you got between 80 and 120 points, you're intermediate. You're doing really well. This is really challenging, and that's incredible. If you got between 130 and 230 points, you are a game show pro. And now, it's my pleasure to pass on this mic, or clicker, to Rabbi David. Rabbi David, show them what you got. And guys, do yourself a favor. Have an awesome time. Yeah! Whoop.
Hello, boys and girls. It's Rabbi David, and welcome to my Model Matzah Bakery. Today, me and you are going to be making matzah just the same way they make it in the real matzah bakeries. You just need a few simple things: flour, water, a rolling pin, and a fork. That's all you need to be able to make the matzah. Of course, make sure you have your parents there to help you with the oven. Okay, boys and girls, are you ready? Let's go. So today we're going to be making hand-baked matzah. No, just kidding, not hand-baked matzah like this, but hand-baked shmura matzah, just like this. Now, boys and girls, what does the word shmura mean? Shmura comes from the Hebrew word shomer, which means to guard. Now, does that mean that there's a man standing at the front of the matzah bakery saying, you can't come in, none of you can come into my matzah bakery? No, it doesn't mean that. What it means is that from the beginning of the process, all the way to the beginning, as we're going to learn, we are making sure that the flour never comes in contact with the water. So, as we know, the ingredients into making matzah is flour and water. So let's go through the process of making the flour. The first thing that we do is the rabbis and the farmers get together in the summer on the farm. Let's find out what happens on the farm. Hello everybody, my name is Old Mac David. That's right, Old Mac David, and on my farm I have a lot of wheat, just like this. Now what happens is the rabbis and the farmers get together, as I said, in the summer, and they go to the farm and they go to cut the wheat. Now they got to do this on a hot day, because if it is raining on that day and maybe a kernel is a little bit open that it has flour in it, they cannot be good for the matzah. So they have to go on a day where it's beautiful and sunny outside and really, really comfy. And what they do is they cut down the wheat. Now, the next step is, with the wheat, on the wheat we have the piece of wheat at the top and we have the stalk at the bottom. What I do is I break off my stalk and I take this home and I give it to my cow Betsy. She loves to sleep on it. And over here I have the wheat. Now you may have a cat at home. If you have a cat, you'll know that your cat has whiskers. Also, the wheat has some whiskers on it. So what we do is we hold it at the top just like this, and we twist it around to get all of the whiskers off. The next thing that we do is we need to get the tiny little seeds out of the wheat. Those seeds are called kernels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bowl, and if you're very, very quiet, you'll actually hear the kernels go into the bowl. All right, boys and girls, now we're going to break up our wheat, and we're going to hear all the little kernels falling into the bowl. Now, boys and girls, inside of the bowl, we have all of the little kernels, but we also have all of the garbage that we don't want. That garbage is called chaff. We don't want it. Now, if I stand over here and start to pull out all of the little tiny kernel seeds, then I'm going to be here for a long, long time. And I don't think we have all that time. So we need to get rid of all the garbage. Does anyone have any ideas how to get rid of it? That's such a smart idea, to use a sift. All right, so I have over here a sift. I'm going to pour this into it. That doesn't work either. You see, the pieces are too big to go through the holes of the sift. I know, I've got a great idea. We're going to do the same thing they did in the time of the Bet HaMikdash, the Holy Temple. What they would do is they would go outside on a windy day and they would throw everything up in the air. The chaff, the garbage, is so light it would just blow away in the wind, and the kernels, which are heavier, would stay in the bowl. We're indoors, so we're gonna have to figure it out another way. So what I'm going to do on the count of 3 is I'm going to close my eyes and I'm gonna blow into this bowl, and hopefully I'll blow away all of the garbage. Most of it will go on the floor and some of it will go in my beard. Let's try. Here we go. 1. I want you guys to count with me. 1, 2, 3. Pretty good, pretty good. A little bit more left. Let's try one more time. All right, good job. All right, now all of the garbage is gone, and we are left with, let's listen, all of the kernels. The next step, in order to make the flour for the matzah, these kernels are taken to a millstone, right over here. Now let me explain you the way the millstone works. You will see the millstone has a larger stone at the top and a smaller stone at the bottom. What happens is we turn this around and around, and all of the little kernels get crushed in the middle, and out comes flour. All right, here we go. Around and around and around. Here we go. Pretty good. Let's see how much flour we can make. We're going to count to 8 because there are 8 days of Passover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good job. Okay, boys and girls, we are now going to collect up with our special brush over here all of the flour that we crushed today. Wow, we did a pretty good job over here. Let's see what we got. I like this. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so now that we have all of our flour, we still have one more problem. You see, while we were crushing it, some little bits and pieces got through that we do not want. Some garbage got through. So what we're going to do is we're now going to use our special sift over here. By the way, does anyone know how many holes are in here? I can tell you, since my daughter's been off school, she's been a little bit bored. So I told her to count how many holes that we have in our sift. And she told me there are exactly 613 holes. Does anyone know what's special about the number 613? That's right. There are 613 commandments. Good job. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our sift right over here. We're going to pour the flour through our sift. All of the garbage will stay in here and the flour will go through. What? It's going to go through on the floor? You know what? Should I do it? No? Come on. You really don't think I should do this? Guess what? I'm going to do it anyway. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, pretty cool. Here we go. We're shaking off all of our sift just like that. So now our flour is in our bowl over here, and I want to show you right over here is all the garbage that we do not want. Watch very closely. All of the garbage that stayed in our sift that we don't want. But I want you to also see now all of the flour that we made today. Beautiful flour. Watch very carefully. Look at that. That is flour that we made today. Good job. So we're now going to take the flour and we're going to take it into our special flour booth right over here to keep it far away from the water. The next ingredient that we need for our matzah is water. That's right. Water in Hebrew is called mayim. And we need to get special water. We just can't go to the tap and get water. The water we get for our matzah comes from a well. Now in Hebrew, the water is called mayim shelanu. Now, has anyone ever been to Israel before? Well, if you were in Israel and you stayed at a hotel, you will know that a hotel in Hebrew is called a bet malon, a house that you stay overnight. The same too over here, our water is called mayim shelanu because it's water that stays overnight. What we do is we draw it from the well and then we keep it in a special room temperature overnight to be able to use for our matzah. So, we have a well over here. Everyone go like this and say, oh well. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try get our water from under the ground. Are you ready? Here we go. Coming up over here, folks. You gotta draw this real heavy. Oh, all right. So let's get our water from and it's measured out a perfect amount. This is just incredible. Okay, we now have our water. We're gonna take our water and take it into our water booth to get ready to make the matzah. All right, now that we have our flour and we have our water ready to make our matzah, we are ready. But one very important thing, boys and girls, is that the matzah needs to be made from the time that the flour and water touch each other in how long? I can't hear you. In how long? That's right, 18 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our timer from when the flour and water mixes together. And we're going to see if we can put the flour, the water, make the dough, roll it out, put the holes in, put it in the oven, out of the oven, all in 18 minutes. Are you ready for the challenge? Okay, here goes. All right, boys and girls, now's come to the main part of making the matzah. So the first thing we need to do is pour the flour into the bowl. So let's get the flour, please. Okay, the flour's here. Now, if you're doing this at home, you want to have 1.5 cups of flour. That's 1.5 cups of flour. Okay, we're about to put the water in, but before we do that, we've got to start our clock. Because remember, if it's longer than 18 minutes from when the water touches the flour, then we cannot eat our matzah on Passover because it is chametz. Okay? So we're about to put our water in. Here we go. And our time has started. Let's go. We've got to mix up this dough as fast as we possibly can mix. You got to mix. Mix it as fast as your hands can go. Around and around and around and around and around and around. All right, while we're mixing the dough, I want you to know you have to put in 2/3 of a cup water. That's 2/3 of a cup water. But keep mixing that dough up because our clock is ticking by and we're almost ready to start rolling out our matzah. All right, boys and girls, now that we have our dough, we have to roll it out. So the first thing I want you to do is take the dough in your hand and I want you to roll it into a ball, just like this, okay? Roll into a ball, okay? Now I want you to take your hand and to go on top like this. 1, 2, 3. Now take your other hand and go 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Now I want you to just with your hand go around and around until you have it into almost like a circle. Excellent. Now what I want you to do is take some flour and put some flour down right where you're going to roll. The next thing you need is a rolling pin. So what I want you to do is start rolling your matzah. Roll it a little bit, then turn it around and roll it a little bit more. Keep rolling it. You gotta work quickly because remember that timer is going. Keep rolling that matzah. Even at times, turn it over and roll. While you roll, turn and roll, turn and roll. There's even a song we sing when we do this. So roll, roll, roll your dough, roll it round and flat. Roll, roll that matzah dough, make it round and flat. Let me hear you. Roll, roll, roll the dough, roll it round and flat. Roll, roll, roll the dough, make it round and flat. Now, boys and girls, in a matzah bakery, while they are rolling the matzah, they say 3 words. And those words are l'shem, matzahs, mitzvah. That means that we are doing this for the mitzvah, for the commandment of making matzah. So while you're rolling with me, boys and girls, let me hear you say, l'shem, matzahs, mitzvah. L'shem, matzahs, mitzvah. Good job. All right, we're getting somewhere over here. As you can see, our matzah is becoming nice and round and really, really big. What a good job. All right, boys and girls, we're ready for our next step. But remember, we've got to work fast because if we don't finish within our 18 minutes, then our matzah will no longer be kosher for Passover. So the next thing we need to do is to make lots of holes in our matzah. Because if we don't make those holes, then what happens to us is our matzah will blow up like a pita, and we do not want that. So I have over here a hole maker that makes lots of holes. But not everyone has this at home, so you can also use a fork to make holes. What I want you to do is make lots of holes all over your matzah. Keep making those holes. If you think you have enough, make a few more. You gotta always have a lot of holes in your matzah. Turn it over and make more. Keep making those holes all over your matzah. You wanna have a lot of holes. Okay, boys and girls, for our next step, you gotta make sure that you have your mom or your dad or a grown-up in the house to help you. I don't want anyone doing this by themselves. What I want you to do is take your rolling pin and to put your matzah over your rolling pin. Now when I'm opening the oven, it's gonna get really loud, so I'm gonna tell you beforehand what I want you to do. I want you to put your matzah in the oven and close it, and then I'll let you know what to do next. All right, as you can see, our matzah's in the oven. Now in a real matzah bakery, the oven is really hot. It's like over 1,000 degrees, and they have lots of wood and fire, and the matzah takes a few seconds to bake. Because we're in a model matzah bakery, we don't have that type of oven. So we're going to be using an oven the same that you can use in your house. Boys and girls, remember to watch that matzah, and the clock is ticking down. All right, boys and girls, we're ready to get our matzah. Let's see how it came out. Wow, what an incredible job we did. It's a little hot, so be careful. Look at that, we have our own beautiful matzah. But boys and girls, unfortunately, our timer ran out. It took us longer than 18 minutes to make the matzah. Oh well, guess what? We'll just have to eat the matzah now. So our matzah may taste like matzah, it may crunch like matzah, but it's not kosher for Passover and we gotta eat it today. But don't worry, at least we know how matzah's made now. But boys and girls, we have had an incredible time today learning how to make matzah all the way from the beginning of the process. So what do you say? Why don't you try it now at home yourselves? Make sure you have an adult, make sure you have the ingredients ready, and you're ready to go. From all of us here at the Virtual Hebrew School, I want to wish you a happy and kosher Passover. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed your class today. As promised, we're now going to do the raffle for last week's review challenge. Don't forget to fill in the answers for this week, and you could be our lucky winners for next week. Okay, let's give a good mix around over here and let's find out who our first winner is for this week. Our first winner is Zadok Mitchelson from Chabad Prospect in Kentucky. Mazel tov, well done. You have won yourself a $25 gift card. Good job. Okay, let's find out who our second winner is from last week. Real good mix around in here. And our second winner is Jonathan Gold from Chabad Potomac, Maryland. Wow, what an awesome job. Mazal tov to you. And our third and final place. Let's give a real good mix around in here. All of you that entered, well done. And our third winner is Ashley Parker from Chabad of Baskin Ridge in New Jersey. What an amazing job to all of you. Mazel tov, well done. Now, boys and girls, if you are a winner, SeaKids will contact you and you will be sent your special gift card. But all of you out there, you could be next week's winners. All you need to do is to fill in the link at the bottom with all of the questions and you could be a winner. Now, boys and girls, we have one more important thing. I want you to make sure that you get part of the challenges that are coming up. You will see on the Chabad Hebrew School website, you will see a challenge that's coming up for every single grade. So make sure you take part of it. Boys and girls, until next week, Shalom.